Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Ghost Heart Reviews, or hello, my name is Brenda. So today I want to talk about my plans for February. So February, I do have the plans to hopefully be able to watch a documentary, a TV show, or a movie, or something that is related to, whether it's made in or made about each of the continents in the world. So that includes Asia, North America, Australia, South America, Europe, Africa, and hell, Antarctica, if there's one that I can find. So with that is kind of my goal for this month. However, I do want to talk about the Attorney Woo show on Netflix. I just love that show. So as somebody with a late diagnosis of autism, that hit me in such a way that I cried almost every episode, to be honest. Like, I cried tears of joy, tears of heartwarmth, tears of sadness, tears of however, and felt so, like, never felt so heard in my life is what I mean. Like, I cried tears of, wow, I've never felt so heard. And to never feel so heard in your life and watching a show is like, wow, because they literally hit, like, different ranges of autism. They hit like a sliding scale there, which was really amazing to watch for me personally. Cause like Woo Young Yu made me feel like I had a friend that understood everything I struggled with growing up, even though I'm a late diagnosis. Thinking it was just like OCD, anxiety, depression, having people literally scream at me or break my concentration and would cause a do-over situation, and like people who were supposed to be safe to me ended up being my worst nightmare. When she did those like little routines to enter an elevator, a room, even like knocking on the door situation, I felt that to my core. Mine is more like a checking 3 times over situation, or like turning the knob handle 3 times one way, 3 times the other way in directions. That one isn't really a thing anymore. However, it was for a very long time in my life. There's also like 3. So for me, it's everything 3s with grocery shopping. So if I have to buy more than 1 item, I buy 3. Even if I just have to buy something for me and someone else, normally I buy 3 items. Her spitting off random whale facts, that was me as a kid. Literally, dolphins, whales, cats, Barbie, Care Bears, Disney, that was me. The having a very few selective friends that know you are your safe people, and they can break you from a moment without like completely screwing you up, causing an anxiety attack, causing frustration, and causing you to have a redo over, which just makes you later, right? The worst part was like, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, it is so nice to see that that was shown, because for me that was really complicated over the years, right? The easy target for shitty people because you're way too naive and think everyone's being nice and have no ulterior motive. Sign me up, that's me. However, what I did love is how not only did I connect on such a level, I also recognized where we differed. So people don't realize I have autism, as I'm extremely high masking, and I have been since I was a toddler. I struggled with groups at school, but not in the same way. I was bullied, but for standing up for other kids, and I was friends with many people in groups, but yet no one at the same time. I had like a very select few friends that I was actually friends with. So yeah, that's something I kind of wanted to note. A lot of people seemed to take issue, of course, with me being different friends with more than one group, which, you know, I didn't really care, because I was like, well, you know, like, screw you. This person's nice. You didn't take the time to get to know them. And that's kind of how I was. Woo was not popular, and apparently I was. I had no idea. Here's the thing. I was friends with everybody and nobody, right? I was friends with a lot of select people within groups too, because I actually took the time to get to know people. I wanted to know who they were as a person and kind of know them, whereas other people only saw surface level shit. So for me, I had no idea that made me popular. I thought I was just like the coolest loser kind of going on here. it wasn't until after like high school and school, a lot of my friends had like pointed this out to me, and I never really understood it. And to this day, I still don't really understand it, because I'm like, well, I was kind of a loser, but like, okay. Yeah, so I had no clue. What got me was when Woo's dad, with the facial emotions chart, was something I know my parents, if they had known I had autism, they would have definitely done something like that. So I would have known what they were, because honestly, 75% of the time it was like Russian roulette, and it's like no shade or anything. I love my parents. But my dad too reminded me a lot of like Woo's dad. So it was like, are you happy? Are you mad? Are you sad? Like, am I about to get in shit? What's going on here? So that was me. It did take some time, and eventually my mom was like, you have to smile when you're joking and that, so that the kids know that you're not like angry. And that was before they knew I had autism or anything, because like I said, it was a late diagnosis. So eventually, yeah. So with that, I found the show very endearing, even though clearly it was about an autistic attorney fighting the discrimination in society because she's seen as dumb, weak, and irrelevant, even though she's clearly insanely intelligent. Her mom abandoning her was a part of the topic line, and only wanting to hire her later, which was kind of like one of those moments where I can't remember the word right now, but it was one of those like aha moments. Political reasons is really why Woo was hired at the law firm. Her dad is friends or colleagues with the CEO, so that kind of got her an in. Plus, the CEO wanted to utilize that for her advantage later on. Work deception, of course, antagonist, changing to protagonist energy is something I did really enjoy seeing. And which, you know, made me go, where the hell was the rest of it? That was the only unfortunate part. There was no more shows. I watched it in like 3 days, and then poof, it was gone, and I was like, what? So 10 out of 10 I would recommend. I haven't been that interested in shows about autistic people because how they can be portrayed. I never really have connected with my level personally. But Woo Young-woo was so like balanced, where I believe many people with autism could see a bit of themselves within Woo Young-woo's character. And what I mean by that is, she was such a sliding scale. So like obviously there's some things that she was way more like intense with that I am not, because I can mask and I am very high masking. However, there was things like when she was talking to herself and like saying that's unacceptable and like all that kind of stuff, like, oh, you can't talk about whales, like, okay. Or like checking herself. I have done similar things, like, okay, checking myself, okay, you're being weird, like kind of shit like that. So I did love the show because I thought it was very, very interesting. And like, yeah, she definitely had a higher level of autism than I do. However, there's still a lot of pieces that she had that I had more so as a child or a kid and a teenager or a tween or whatever, young adult even, that I don't now. However, there are still things that I do now that, you know, are shown in the show. Like the counting, and that is something I do, and I do talk to myself a lot. So I just find it very endearing, and I think that a lot of people would really like the show. I mean, but I'm also interested into like law and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of why the show surprised me, because like ingenious. But yeah, that's all I really have for you. Let me know if you've seen the show Woo Young-woo. I guess it's not Woo Young-woo. I guess it's like The Great Attorney Woo or something like that. And let me know if there's any TV shows, documentaries, or movies from any of the continents I mentioned that you would suggest. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye now.